So the way we became involved with the benevolence ministry was when we were working primarily with the youth. And as we worked with the youth, we found that a lot of the activities we were doing to bring the body of the youth group together were activities that were service in nature. And what we found was that when people worked together, the youth working together, that they became closer to each other, but we also were doing something good. And then there were a couple of activities that happened where we brought in not just the youth group together, but also people from the church. And so we saw some connectedness happen, and we had a bigger vision. We thought, you know what, we're wanting to help our community. We're wanting to see our members come together closer, and then our members have a heart for the community. And so a way to channel that is through the benevolence and service ministry that we now lead.
There's no doubt that God is at work in our ministry, and even now we feel His leading. A lot of times we try certain activities or certain aspects of our ministry only to discover that maybe they were good for a while and then kind of run their course, or maybe that just wasn't the right road to take. But then we also feel God's leading in a new direction. And so we try to stay open to that leading, and now even are excited about a few new things we're going to try for 2014 and some new areas of involvement that we haven't had before. But all through this, we feel the direct presence of God in our prayers for our ministry and people's involvement in the ministry. There's definitely an awareness of God's presence.
And God works through us. And so for us to be able to work through those relationships and complement what's already being done with a lot of great service acts or a lot of great words that are spoken or prayers that are offered, then for us to be able to take the service ministry, come alongside that person, that really does echo what God is already doing in the community and what is already being done here in our church. So it's an exciting ministry for that reason. We feel so attracted to the service and benevolence ministry because it's an important way that we demonstrate God's love. The greatest commandments being that we love God and we love our neighbor. And that our church, when we came to Cole Mill Road, one of the things that attracted us into this body of believers was the love that we see in the community here. That people love each other within these walls and then also outside of these walls. And so trying to jump into that spirit, to be shaped by that spirit, to embrace it, and then foster that in other people is just part of what we want to do with our life and with our ministry here. And so we feel like we just are very privileged and blessed to be a part of that and to be able to kind of continue a legacy that has really, I guess, described this church body for so long. Something that we heard as we came in, and now we see in so many different ways. And this ministry just kind of gives the infrastructure for that and gives ways that that can happen more and more. And it's an exciting ministry to be a part of.
I would say to build on that, I think it's important for our congregation because it does give us opportunities to come together for a common goal of loving our neighbor. As we look forward to the future in our ministry, specifically in 2014, we have a lot of hopes for this ministry because we're sort of not necessarily shifting the focus, but really trying to work more through relationships that we already have to be a blessing to those around us. So we're going to look to our members to be involved with us, to help us find those who may need our help or who may need our assistance. And then we want to work through those members to reach out to the community. I think our hope is that more of our members will see this as an exciting opportunity and come alongside us as we reach out.
So there's many ways to be involved with the service ministry. And what we find is that sometimes people have a little bit of time, and some people have maybe more financial resources. Some people have more connections within our area and know people. And there's a lot of different ways that people bring talents to this ministry. And we're trying to make a place where everybody can find a place to serve. And that if it's you just have a little bit of time, but you have this one particular ability, we'd like to hear from you. We'd like to be able to find out how to get you involved. We'd like to hear from people who know of a need Just this morning, I spoke with one of our members, Joni, who knew of a friend who had a need. And she said, hey, I'd like to see if there's a way we can help out this person. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to try to find those people who we're already connected with and be able to actually say, yeah, we can do that. Let's try to help that person. But because that Joni already has a relationship with that person, we also know that we can help in more than just a financial way. We can pray for that person. We can perhaps offer some assistance in terms of transportation, or maybe just some time to sit with that person, helping that person get connected with resources in the community, learn how to do certain skills or do certain things that will help that person then be able to sustain themselves and actually maintain that place where they go, where they have a home. And so that's a way that people can get involved. Another thing is just through our contributions. Just making contributions goes towards this ministry and actually supports it so that we can help people with real needs in the community.
A couple of other ways that we are looking for involvement from members, very specifically, would be to help us to decide about these requests and to help us be on the team that addresses those requests and makes decisions. In addition, we're looking for members to be maybe even more involved with our ministry if you have a specific desire to be on our steering committee. And these would be individuals that want to think more broadly and more long-term in planning for our ministry. We're looking for help in that way as well. So as Luke mentioned, there are many, many ways to be involved, and we hope that you'll prayerfully consider joining our ministry.